One thing that keeps bothering me is that for the last 10 years or even 15 years, we have always known that weekends is for the games. In the afternoon, we are moving around Nairobi trying to see a KPL game, and then in the evening and early night, we are watching Premier League. And I don't know, recently I've been calling the guys, asking them to go for the games, and they're like, get your shit together, like grow up, man, like you are taking care of the families. And man, fuck your families first. And the second thing, the ball or football is not gender specific or age specific, so anybody can watch it. And I understand sometimes you are going through some political war with your girlfriend and you don't want to admit, but you have lost the war, and now you are at home watching some, I don't know what you are watching. I understand, but there is a way that you can get out of it, and here's why. The body entertainment system is managed by feel good hormones, and they are different for the two genders. For males, dopamine is the most dominant, and dopamine, in a very simplistic way, makes a person feel good when they win. For women, oxytocin is the most dominant, and oxytocin creates more reward through bonding, and that's why, and this may be very controversial, women will feel very good bonding with the winner than winning themselves. Now, if you understand those two things, and I'm explaining it in a very simple way, you will know why women love a very good fantasy story. It has all to do with bonding. Now, the crazy thing is, the brain doesn't know what it is true or fake, whether you are experiencing the thing or just imagining it. The brain will reward you in the same way, and it is the reason why you must just get stronger if you wake up every day and imagine you are lifting weights. You see? That means if you find ways to make football a fantasy story, one that allows people to bond with the players, teams, and the story itself, then bingo, they will just receive the same fulfillment from a game as they will receive from a fantasy or a soap opera. Now, many people have tried to create fantasies for people who don't find football interesting. One was that Wrexham story of going from Division 1 to a Premier League. Now, the problem with that is that it's taking too long to get to the intended success. Girls don't wait for that long for somebody to win. You have to show you are struggling, but then again, you have to win very fast, or the bonding starts collapsing. The other story was that Man City all or nothing, and they won, but there was this thing of there was no any antagonist. For every fantasy story, you have to have an antagonist. That is why successful marriages always have to have an enemy. It could be either an in-law, that praise and worship girl who usually dresses indecently, the pastor, the landlord. Like, you have to have an enemy for you to create a fantasy story. And just like that, there are teams which you can't create fantasy story from. Like, Arsenal and Man United, they never win. So in any case, you can't create a fantasy and keep enjoying a game where you know that at the end of the season, at the end of it all, you are not going to win anything. And then Man City and Liverpool, they are winning, but they are boring. Like, again, no story, no antagonist, no anything. So in all through, the only team that you can really create a fantasy from is Chelsea. And it is not far from truth, because it has all the characteristics of the people your girlfriends date. A lot of promises, no actual results. Spends a lot of money on things that don't help them. And then generally has no game. So you see why they are just similar to a fantasy story.